In today's world, there are more than 65 million people who are forcibly displaced. Among them, there are 22.5 million of refugees. We know those statistics, but we don't understand, actually the majority of us don't understand, what does it really mean to be a refugee.
The crisis in the Balkans, when there were lots of refugees, and we thought that it would be a good idea to bring those people who never experienced the situation as a refugee closer to the situation.
That's why the College of Europe that holds a special seminar on Introduction to International Humanitarian Law, together with the Warsaw office of the UNHCR, decided to organize this game for our students.
Personally, for me, it was super moving to see people, how they just, fall on the ground and how they're just scared completely. I mean, with just looking around and trying and just waiting what's going to happen to us next. Why this all happened, of course, I mean, why we had to leave our homes, and then we are also treated in this specific way at the checkpoints by different people we meet on our way.
It was really a pickle for the group because they really didn't know who to trust.
Follow me! And there was no communication between families until we were in one place for a long moment, being very uncertain, and then we started asking each other what they were going to do, and there started being a communication.
Surprised by how fast people distrust each other.
At the border, they had to cross some kind of obstacles, but some of them were crippled, some of them were only 1 year old. So it was really difficult to come across this obstacle, for instance, a 2-year-old child. They met soldiers, actually border officials.
We felt frustrated and frightened and untrusting because we didn't trust anybody, also even in the family.
Module 7, where the families had to choose their own spokesperson, whose task would be to persuade the soldiers to let them go through the border because they are refugees.
The feeling when we crossed the border and you saw the people from humanitarian workers, that you feel like they are clean, good people that actually care about you and now want to, just see you as a human being.
Because they saw humanitarian workers leading them straight to a refugee camp, they didn't know whether they would be able to find work, whether they will be able to send their children to schools, for instance. 25 years later. So some of them were still 25 years old, were still in the camp. Some of them left to another country because their families were reunited, because somebody brought them. Some of them became urban refugees and they had to struggle to make ends meet. Some of them disappeared completely.
Just realizing how the experience of displacement itself is a very dehumanizing, it's dehumanizing, and there are many small instances where maybe a female member of the family wasn't recognized, or they were not being spoken to. They would always go to the male head of the household and try to talk with them, and just feeling like even if you were competent, you didn't necessarily have that agency to act for yourself.
Participants understood one thing, that suddenly one day you find yourself in a situation that you were completely helpless, and you realize that you cannot decide what you can do because the things that are happening around you are completely independent on you. You simply don't know how to cope with it. You don't make choices. Choices decide what you do and who you are, actually.